allowing Shadow Machamp to go down. Going to put it all on Shadow Latios. We come in, the opponent blind switches into Machamp due to our sub. Psychic typing, we are resisting counters. Dragon Breath, only neutral out here, looking like super effective charm because this Machamp is getting absolutely fucking wrecked. So, welcome back to the home of Shadow Pokemon. Today, we had a battle submission from Ripley, and holy smokes, he has got an incredibly fun, spicy core using Shadow alolan Sandslash on its legacy move of Shadow Claw. It's forming a near perfect core with Shadow Latios. They cover each other's weaknesses pretty well. The only thing that can beat the both is Dark types. We've got Shadow Machamp, who is going to be out here making sure that no Dark types give us any trouble. Moving on into the battles, we pick up a great lead. alolan Sandslash into My Little Pony. My Little Pony can only hit 4 resisted. The opponent save switches into Steelix, and Steelix is going to be punished with Machamp. Machamp is going to absolutely smack the shit out of this Steel type. The opponent is actually on Thunderfang as well. Machamp commits 1 shield, goes all the way for the counter farm down. If My Little Pony does return, we have the Rock Slide locked and loaded. This is going to be a very ambitious Fairy Wind farm down. Ripley, not baiting, fires the Rock Slide, draws a shield. The opponent doesn't throw the Body Slam. Machamp says eat Rock Slide. Number 2 does the opponent want to double shield. They do not. My Little Pony gets absolutely wrecked, and the opponent has knocked out in the back. This game is looking pretty over. We come in to Latios. You can see the Dragon Breath ripping apart the super bulky knockdown. The opponent fires off a charge move. It's just a Sky Attack Latios made of absolute paper. Does survive, makes the Dragon Claw. Dragon Claw is either going to draw the final shield from the opponent or do big damage. The opponent chooses to shield it up, but we have Sandslash. The Legacy Shadow Claws are double resisted, but we've got the Ice Punch locked and loaded. Even if this Ice Punch doesn't knock out, we're almost at Ice Punch. Number 2, Ripley, not throwing, chooses to resisted Shadow Claw down, and that is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle. We see the Flying Toilet Pelipper in the lead. Sandslash has a pretty nice matchup here. The wing attacks are resisted due to our Steel type in Shadow Claws are neutral, and Ice Punch is also neutral. The opponent attempts to catch an Ice Punch on the Steelix, and Ripley not baiting, going straight for the bulldoze. The opponent shows no respect. They're now left at sub 50% HP. In comes Shadow Machamp. We do not get the counter farm down before they make the Psychic Fangs. Ripley committing his first Protect Shield on the Psychic Fangs, and we have the Rock Slide locked and loaded. Should the Toilet Seat wish to return, we will be getting our shield back or knocking out. The opponent is having a think. What do they want to come in with? You can see the wing attack animation, and once again Ripley not baiting, going straight for the Rock Slide, and Rock Slide does draw a shield from Pelipper. The Flying Toilet not committing to the farm down. They are going to throw a Weather Ball to get rid of Machamp, and now Ripley comes in to his Latios. We get a bit of stutter lag, but holy smokes, the opponent blind swaps into Machamp. These Dragon Breaths are out here looking like super effective charm. They make the cross chop, which would be resisted, but that's the only move they will make. Latios absolutely shreds Machamp. Back out comes the Pelipper. We've got the Dragon Claw locked and loaded. The opponent is going to be forced to shield this up, but guess what? We're at Dragon Claw number 2, and this is going to do huge damage to the Toilet Seat. The Toilet Seat is left on minimal HP. They attempt to farm down, but Latios says absolutely no chance. Moving on to the next one. We see the super happy Quagman, aka Quagsire, in the lead. Sandslash would get hit for super effective with the Earthquake, and even the Stone Edge is neutral. Ripley looks to chip and dip. He comes in to Latios, and once again Dragon Breath ripping them apart. Holy smokes, this Shadow Dragon Breath is no joke. Ripley commits a shield on the Stone Edge, and now we are somewhat hard punished with a Ferrothorn. I say somewhat because we are resisting the Bullet Seeds. We actually resist everything if they're on the usual moveset of Thunder. They would have to run Flash Cannon to any meaningful damage or spam the shit out of Mirror Shots. Speaking of spamming the shit out of charge moves, Ripley, just with his Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw spam, has got this thing deep into the yellow. They're now in the red. You can see they did go for the Power Whip, which is resisted. So the resisted dragon damage has got this Ferrothorn now deep in the red. We come back in with Sandslash, look to commit to the Shadow Claw farm down. This is just going to be a Power Whip or Mirror Shot. We don't shield it up. The resisted Power Whip does pretty good damage to Sandslash. Back out comes the Quagman. Ripley looks to overfarm. He gets a little bit too greedy. It looks like the play now is going to be to shield up and Shadow Claw farm them all the way down. Sandslash absolutely loaded, and holy smokes, what the heck is that? I believe it is a Swallow. I don't know, not something you're going to see all that often, but first Ice Punch is going to draw the shield, and I think it's going to be Night Night, Sleep Tight Swallow, and back to the Spice Zone you go, sir. GG's, and thanks for playing. Sometimes the spice is nice and the spice is right, but in that battle it absolutely wasn't. Moving on into the next battle, we see Hypno in the lead. The Legacy Shadow Claws would be hitting for super effective. The opponent safe switches into an S-Cavalier, and here comes Machamp. Machamp looking to one shield and counter farm them all the way down. We do get the counter farm down. If Hypno does return, we've got more than enough energy for a payback, but the question is, does the opponent respect the damage? Ripley showing great fast move time when he throws one counter, and the Rock Slide. Hypno showed no respect. We wouldn't make Rock Slide number 2, so Ripley is looking to get off a little bit of chip damage. With the cross chop, Hypno now at around 30% HP. We come in, look to snipe. With the Latios, we do get the snipe, and the opponent has Golbat in the back. Holy smokes, this opponent is looking pretty fucked. We are going to spam out the first Dragon Claw. The opponent is hanging on to 2 shields, and they don't even shield up. Mr. Opponent, what are you doing, sir? We're going to shield up whatever they throw. Dragon Breath is going to be more than enough to take this game. Moving on to the next one. We see Hortner in the lead. Holy smokes, this Hortner needs to retreat quick time. But what do I know? The opponent choosing to stay, and they must be double weak. Ripley recognises that he can easily one shield and farm all the way down. Once we get the farm down, we are going to have to safe switch because they're going to have probably a 1 hard counter. Here is the hard counter, Primeape. So we do make an immediate safe switch into Latios. We do need to be mindful of the Night Slash. The opponent does throw the Night Slash. And now they bring in, there's the second thing that is weak to the Sandslash. They have Toxapex, so this game is as good as over. We are going to spam out Dragon Claw. After Dragon Claw, the opponent has shielded up the first, but guess what? They can have number 2. Is the opponent willing to go down 2 shields? They are not. Holy smokes, this Latios is shredding. Toxapex is now so low that even a resisted Ice Punch is going to be enough to knock out. Really nice recognition of the switch timer from Ripley. He does wait it out, so his switch timer has now elapsed. He's going to spam out this Ice Punch, I imagine. We are going to make an immediate pivot into our Machamp, and now it is going to be the question, does this Primeape have the Legacy Cross Chop? It is the moment of truth. Hopefully it is just a Night Slash. The opponent doesn't have the Cross Chop. Machamp shrugs off the Night Slash, and Cross Chop is going to be enough to take this game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we lead Sandslash into Buzzwole. We will be taking double super effective counter damage, so we do make a switch into our Latios. The opponent looks confused, take a whole heap of Dragon Breath damage, and the opponent finally switches out into Knockdown. The opponent was really slow on the switch. Knockdown shields up the first Dragon Claw. They do make a Sky Attack. Ripley looking like he wants to force 2 shields or switch advantage. He shields up the Sky Attack. A really nice over farm from Ripley. We're almost at the back-to-back Dragon Claws. Does the opponent want to commit the final shield? Yes, they do. Can we make Dragon Claw number 3? Yes, we can. So Latios going on an absolute tear up in the mid-game. We have flipped switch advantage, however that Buzzwole is still going to be somewhat problematic. The opponent's final Pokemon is a Dunsparce, and here comes Machamp. Machamp showing no respect for the drill run. It does a respectful amount of damage. Out comes Buzzwole. Buzzwole isn't going to appreciate this neutral rock side. It's going to be high Buzzwole by Buzzwole. Machamp absolutely vanquishes it. Back out comes the Dunsparce. They do get the rollout farm down, but Sandslash sitting in an absolutely great spot. Hopefully the opponent isn't quite at the back-to-back moves. We shield up the first drill run. We've got the Ice Punch locked and loaded. Ice Punch is going to be enough to take this game. Very impressive game there from Ripley. You love to see it. Moving on to the next one. We see another counter user in the lead. Ripley immediately safe switches into his Latios, and the opponent answers with Slowbro, running Confusion. Questionable. Due to our part, Psychic typing, we do resist the Confusion damage, as Psychic does resist Psychic. Slowbro just sacrificed to the Pokegods. Let's see what the opponent wants to come in with. They come in with a Toxapex. Ripley over farms well past the Dragon Claw. At least baiting the Psychic. We might be single move, but this is the key. If you aren't running a charge move, at least bait it. Ripley does a great job there, and he immediately brings in Sandslash, knowing this Toxapex is still switch locked. Ripley playing phenomenally, really high IQ. The opponent brings in Obstagoon, and here comes Machamp. This game is absolutely over. Ripley has 2 shields, so he's going to shield up whatever Obstagoon throws. They do throw what would have been a neutral cross chop. Back out comes Toxapex, and it's going to be a fast move beatdown to the finish. Toxapex trying to poison jab, farm down, but Machamp says no chance. Moving on to the next one. We see Guzzlord in the lead due to us being on Legacy Shadow Claw. Our fast move is resisted, however Ice Punch does hit for super effective. The opponent choosing to shield it up, they now make a pivot into Granbull. Interesting. We are double weak. 2 Charm in the back, so Ripley is absolutely going to stay in. The second Ice Punch draws the second shield from the Granbull. We're already at Ice Punch number 3. So high Granbull, bye Granbull. Back out comes Guzzlord. They do get the Dragon Tail farm down. They do have residual energy. Good to go. So Ripley comes in to his Latios and he looks like he's just completely sacking it and putting it all on one shield. Shadow Machamp crunch takes us out. In comes Machamp counter, ripping through the dark subtyping of this Guzzlord. Crunch draws a shield from us. We do look to counter farm them all the way down, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Ariados, and Ariados is absolutely not going to appreciate the rock slide to the face. Hi Ariados, bye Ariados, GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next boss, he's Steelix in the lead, despite us being a steel type and then being a ground type. This is actually a pretty good matchup for Sandslash, especially when the opponent doesn't even bait the Earthquake. They throw the Psychic Fangs. Ripley over farms. The opponent now makes a very questionable swap into the Snowman. The Snowman can only hit us for resisted, so Ripley fires off Ice Punch number 1. That draws a shield. We're already at Ice Punch number 2. Abomasnow lets it go. We look to snipe with Machamp. Abomasnow gets absolutely obliterated, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Mandibuzz. Once again, no bait on this channel, going straight for the rock slide, and holy smokes, that does big damage to Mandy. The opponent fires off the Aerial Ass is going to KO the low health Machamp. It looks like we are coming into Latios to try and find some use for it. We do get the Dragon Breath farm down. Out comes Steelix. Steelix is hitting us for super effective. Ripley once again over farms to what could be a bigger move. We fire off the Dragon Claw. The opponent shows no respect, but they're now deep in the red. We've still got 2 shields, so Ripley can just shield up. Whatever the opponent throws, they bait us with a Psychic Fangs. This, again, is going to be a Psychic Fangs, I believe. Ripley does commit his final shield. Steelix is getting super low. They make one more charge move. If this is another Psychic Fangs and we survive, the Shadow Claw will take him out. And you can see we did survive and we managed to take that game. Huge shout out to Ripley for the battle submission. I've never seen anyone use Sandslash and Latios as a core, but they do cover each other really well, and he showed some phenomenal high gameplay IQ, and then battles were fantastic. I now actually am going to invest in a Sandslash. I didn't play Com Day because it was my birthday and I did get drunk. I've been wanting to make one for a while, and these battles have made me finally think it's time to pull the trigger. So if you'd like your battles featured on the channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.